Hi guys, this is not exactly a diary, but sort of is in a way. This is actually just an indication of the kind of process I go through, and one of the questions that my clients ask often is, why do you insist on using WhatsApp, Paul? Well, you'll see in a minute. Check this out. If you enjoy the content, don't forget, like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. Okay, so this is the finished article of an interesting story. So this was featured in number 3, Devongunsmith Diaries number 3, which was how to antique an inert Indian replica dog lock, and if you recall, it was all covered in rust and goodness knows what. Where years later, and a client desperately needed a good serviceable dog lock for his living history in the coming season. So he contacted me and says, have you got anything you can help me? Can you help me? I'll take anything. I said, well, I'm running short of them because we've had a bit of a run on these. As some of you may know, I make a compliant blank firing version for giving sound effects and flash and all that. So that'll come in another video. But with these, very much a case of trying to do a reverse of what I did before to create a nice looking example for living history. Just a dummy weapon, doesn't do anything. You can snap the lock if I can. There you go. I've got the strength that I was born with. That dog lock needs to tightening up a tiny bit there, I think. There we go. And that will, if you put the dog lock lever in place, it will catch it and stop it from the misfire. You need to, this is difficult to do for camera, there we go. And if you hold it off, it works fine. Okay, so in the process, this video is not actually a diary as such. It's more by way of explaining my processes in terms of working with a customer liaison. Now I'm a one-man band on my own again. I don't have the luxury of people to help me with the admin. I have to use the fastest route, which is a mobile phone. And for those purposes, either email, text, or preferably the third option, which is WhatsApp. I prefer WhatsApp because I can send progress reports to my clients with example, this is where I'm at, and this is hopefully keeping their spirits high when they're beginning to think that no, nothing's ever happening. Because I have such a large workflow, as well as doing the YouTube channel, which is you guys there, I have got modern and reenactment guns to repair, prepare for sale, etc. So one of my dilemmas is I can either do the work and possibly the YouTube content, or I can do admin. Last week I spent a whole week doing flipping admin because I couldn't keep up with it. So I had to just put my head down, do the admin, and all guns work stopped. So this is the short answer, and this is very briefly a look into what happens with the customer. So this gun was an inquiry. It was the one that actually was to suit him best, because I've got the others reserved for making blank firers to order that I've got a lot of stuff to do. For some reason, everybody's suddenly woken up and realizes that we're only a couple of months away from the new reenactment season, and this is what we're going to need, so I better order it now, blah, blah, blah. Plus, I think it's you guys, it's the YouTube channel, because I'm getting a lot of people saying, oh, I saw that video on so-and-so, can you do a gun like that for me? Well, of course I can. It's very refreshing. We've had a very difficult period because of the Davies murder in Keyham in Devon. That has caused a massive backlash. The police, quite understandably, from their point of view, have become quite draconian in their measures, and they're going through everything with a fine tooth comb when it comes to firearm, which is firearm certificate, like this would be if it was a live firer, or shotguns. Everybody's going through the mill now to make sure they haven't missed anybody else, a bit like Davis, the murderer, the Plymouth murderer, who shot somebody because they gave him his gun back. What can I say? No comment, officer. Anyway, that unfortunate occurrence has happened now through all of the disciplines, whether it be clay shooting, pigeon shooting, reenactment. Everybody's having it difficult throughout the country in the UK to get a grant for, or renewals are even turning out to be quite difficult. In spite of the statistics, I've got guns in my armory that have been there 12 months because the customer can't get a renewal, and it's not because he's a criminal or a drug dealer or a violent person. It's just because every police authority is now going through the firearms specifications and being ultra careful, and possibly to some justification. If you're mental, you shouldn't have a gun. That's my rule. You know, what can I say? Anyway, let's get into what I do. The next sections will be me working on this, and the videos that I send my client, more importantly. So this is an example of how I communicate with my clients via WhatsApp using little video clips. They don't take long. So here it is. It's antiqued, but as you can see, it's got clean good metal underneath. So it will come up nicely. I'll send you some of this Scotch-Brite with it. It will come up fine with basic tools. I will run the linisher over the large areas, but the more complex areas I may need to leave with you to clean up, if that's okay. Okay, very quick update. I have very quickly done a very basic conservation, taken all the metal parts off, cleaned all the rust off, and given them a light bluing so that it will actually look nice on your display. So this is how a gun would look in the 17th century. It would have black on it because they boiled the barrels to get the get all the fouling out. So that as the rust was boiled, it goes black. This is one of my contentions with a lot of reenactors. They have everything shiny, clean. Well, possibly. But all the examples in the Royal Armoury have this pattern on them. Hopefully that will be what you would like to see as your final gun. But I'll keep to the price that I offered you. Okay, Bryn, this is the final piece. Freshly oiled in linseed, barrel, stock and lock. The butt all cleaned up again. And you can still snap the lock, operate the dog lock on half cock. Everything is in working order for that special deal price. I think you'll be pleased with that. That's got that. That is what the proper gunmetal black blue should look like. So I think you've got a nice little bargain there, mate.